Hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Sue and I'm from OML Embroidery, and over at the computer is Dawn.
Hello.
Hello, says Dawn. Hello. So that's showing my iPad in the corner. Can you zoom it in a little bit?
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, he can do that. A little bit of shadowy today for no reason. So, look at this. Welcome to Halloweentown. Isn't this awesome? So Dresden played Halloweentown. I finally finished it. Look at that fun Halloween village. I know, isn't it great? I had so much fun stitching it out. Now this is the original prototype #1 version, so I have made some changes to it. Like for example, there's only one side of the door. I forgot the other side of the door, but it's on the actual one. So this is just the first one, and I absolutely love it. So for background fabric, I used, of course, Dance of the Dragonfly fabric because it's nighttime.
How much of that do you have left?
Not much. Not much.
Santa Mom.
So there's spider webs, there's ghosts, it's a cloudy night, there's a moon. Can you guys see the moon? I see the moon. Lots of details in here, the windows and the doors, and some of the doors have decorations. So it's a lot of fun. This is the largest size and it's only 4 blocks. Just make sure the colors on your houses connect. That's the only thing. Now, I came up with I did a blog yesterday, and I came up with some interesting ideas to take the same layout. And what about gingerbread houses?
Yep.
And then you could have Santa. I'd make them a little bit smaller, but Santa and the reindeer going around.
Yep, good idea.
Yeah, I thought that was a kind of interesting to do. But gingerbread houses, so yeah, I think that'll be a whole lot of fun. Great fabric choices. I just use scraps, believe it or not, like larger scraps for some of them. But for the tops of the houses, this is my spider section here. I unwittingly put spider, nicely fussy cut, I will say, and then beside it a spider, and then a spider web. So it's my spider section. And don't forget the boogly eyes staring out the windows.
Oh, yeah,
so that's a lot of fun if you guys want to check it out. It starts at 5x7 hoop. I think I did 6x6, 8x8, and 10x10.
Ooh, lots of variety.
Yeah, any size will do. It's just a whole lot of fun. So, oh, and look at the back. I didn't do a bad job of the binding too. I'm pretty happy with that. And then the back, I just used some pretty Halloween fabric. I could have changed my thread color, but I didn't. But it still looks good. Woot woot, 5x7, Lynn says. All right, and oh, just spilled all my pins. Mental note, pick up your pins. And before we get on to the good stuff, I just want to show you. Now, this isn't embroidery. This is sewing. And it is a sewn Dresden plate. I had made a smaller one before, but I wanted to show you guys the fabric. So the fabric is called cats, jacks, and bats. Isn't that awesome?
I love it.
So it's a layer cake, and the ruler that I have is from Missouri Star, and it's meant for layer cake, so it fits exactly in. You don't have to do any top or bottom cutting.
Nice.
And I gotta keep working at my sewing. So I did a much better job on this. The thing, if you're sewing it manually, you gotta make sure that these match up perfectly. So that was the mistake I didn't do on the other one. And you know, it's like a waterfall. You start with a little and it just piles up. So cats, bats, and jacks. And I'm going to put a backing on it. And of course the circle in the middle. And that's going to be a nice centerpiece. So just sewing practice, that's all. So, okay, we have some pictures to show. Who's the first one, Don?
We have Terry Smith.
Terry Smith. Oh, and the
And the
meep design that she made into a quilt. Isn't that beautiful? What I like most about it are the colors. So when you look at it, you see the lighter blue around the edges like that. I love it. It's stunning. I love it. I love it. Well done.
Beautiful, yes. And then Marilyn Rourke-Patno.
Marilyn.
Grandmother's Garden.
Yeah, Grandmother's Garden. She picked some groovy colors for it, didn't she? Yeah, there we go. I like the kind of OD olive drab green.
I thought that was a cool take on it,
Yeah, with the flowers. So, you know, breaking with tradition, basically. She put some of the pathway blocks in flowers, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And it came together nicely. Look at her sewing is perfect. Did the Halloween material come from Missouri Star? Yeah, long time ago. I don't know if they have it anymore. I do have some fat quarters of it because I loved it, but yeah, I don't know. So anyways, good work, people. So today we are taking from the Anita Goodesign this month, September, and we had a hard time. We had a hard time because we love so many things in it. So I decided to do one of these Harlequin designs, and I really like it. So the major thing we're talking about today is placement. And if you noticed on the front, on the thumbnail, there's paw prints, and that's because I'm going to put it on a dog bandana. Now, this isn't an in the hoop bandana because I want to practice sewing. So this is all it is. It's this kind of a weird shape, and I just sewed the edges in so you can put the collar through. So nothing fancy. I'm going to do the embroidery and then I'll do the sewing. So what I've done here is I've just measured, this is the middle. Now this is not the middle, but this is where I'm going to do a sewing line once it's done, a fancy sewing line, and that just makes a really nice pocket for the collar. So I've got things marked out. Now, so many ways of doing placement. Like I said, today is more about the placement, We're going to do old school. We're going to do new school. We're going to do it all. So let's start with something that I just got. And
What's that?
it's called PAL 3. I don't know if you guys saw the demo, but there it is. Now, what I'm looking at, there's 2 notches here. If you guys can see that, notches there and notches there, and that's how you set it up. And I'm just turning it, and then you can bend it. So I'm just going to move it. I had it all perfectly set up, but I had to move it out of the camera. It was in the camera. So this rotates it, and then you bend the gooseneck to move it. So, I mean, it's easy, and I'm going to struggle with it, and I'm not paying attention to the lines behind, right? Not the hoop mat. I hope that isn't confusing for everyone. Is it confusing, do you think, Dawn?
No. Pay attention to the laser, not the mat.
Yeah, laser, not the mat. Now, I am struggling a little bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my hoop instead of the laser, and that is just fine to do. Now, look, I have it perfectly. So now I know that right here is the center of my hoop. Can't you just move your hoop to the laser? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I think once I have this set up how I want, I'm going to leave it. However, you can move it up and down to make it bigger or smaller, that sort of thing. It is easier. It's kind of in my way, so I'm not going to be leaving it here. So then, no matter what I'm placing it on, now I do have lines on this. I folded them, so hopefully we can see them. Middle of the design, middle of the hoop, and it's perfect.
Close up?
No, not yet. So how are we going to do this? Well, look how easy that is. I'm going to say this was our middle. Just going to set it up like that, and it's perfect. And you can see it's perfect. If you have snowman stickers, you could pop one of those babies on. The nicest part, you're going to love this, Dawn. The nicest part, which makes our things easier. Look, you have lines finally. No more folding up and in everything.
Awesome.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
That's, it's so perfect. Okay, it's a little crooked, but I didn't actually stick it on. So, isn't that awesome? Because before, to line up the snowman sticker, I see, and I automatically did it. I put creases in it so I could place it, fold it back, line it up like this. That's how I used to do it. Now with this thing, I'm just like, woohoo! So what the snowman sticker does is you put it on your machine. So if you don't have snowman stickers that come with your machine, then you can't use them. But my machine will scan it, and it will change it, the rotation and move. Like, so if you hoop this crooked and it still fits, say it's a smaller design, it will adjust it so it's still straight.
Nice.
So it's pretty handy for that. So that's one way of doing it. And then you could either hoop it. It's a pretty good hooping. I probably will hoop it, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Or you can tape it down, or you can use the sticky stuff, and that makes it easy too.
You should always hoop when you can.
It is better to hoop, in my opinion. So I'm gonna just put that back because I didn't actually stick it down. And we're gonna play around with that. But doesn't that make it easy? Now I can clearly see that it's down the middle. And remember, we're ignoring this line. Makes it so easy to place this on. I should use PEP when I print out templates, because the ones from Wilcom suck. So it is going to go up into the collar area a little bit.
Sharon says, great, another thing I need.
Yeah, I know. I'm # sorry, not sorry. It's from Dime, by the way. And I've seen them for all these years, but I never really saw the value in it. I didn't understand what it does.
It makes it a little bit quicker.
I think this is amazing. And you just line it up and go. So, yeah. And then you can, if you print out the template, you can just, you know, decide if this looks good, if it's in the middle enough, if it, you know, fits properly, the whole bit. You can play around, move around, the whole bit. So I really like it. And I was thinking, if you have something with a pocket on it, super easy to line up to stitch.
Make sure you're going straight across the pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy, because there's a lot of really cute designs of something popping out of the pocket, and I've never done them because I thought that's going to be a lining up nightmare. I don't have time for that stuff. So yeah. So isn't that cool? I'm really thinking this is a whole lot of fun. And I think this design is going to look pretty spectacular on my dog bandana. So if you don't have a pal, I mean, that's fine. We can go old school, and you can place a placement sticker, you know, like I used to do it. Line it up, a snowman or one of the dime ones. What really works well too is if you have the printable peel and stick that Eileen uses all the time. I do have some, but I don't know where they are. And you print it, because I printed this, obviously, and then you can trim it out, and then you can stick it on where it's supposed to go. Even if you don't have your pal going on, you can just stick it on. See, I've marked basically where I want it, and you can stick it on, and it's perfect. So
the girls in chat are discussing that it would be great for sewing as well, not just embroidery.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it'll be I could think of so many uses. HTV would be another one.
Yeah.
Anything you have to line up, you can use it for. So I am going to permanently put it at my desk. I just don't quite know where yet. So I picked a bigger hoop because the design is 8.34, so I had to turn it. And I think it's, I can't remember how long it is. I could look, I guess. 3.14 by 8.38. So I couldn't use my 8x8 hoop, so I had to use the bigger one. So I loosened the screw, and I'm going to, hopefully, did I have that right? Did I move stuff?
Maybe.
I did. Okay, well, I wanted to, this is why I have the hoop mat. Perfect. There we go. Okay. Better to put it down, because I'm gonna hoop this. So there we go. I am gonna have to make it looser. I think my iPad is in the way. So no, if you move it, I can't see the chat.
I'm just gonna slide it back a bit more.
Okay, so now that's perfect. So because I have the hoop mat, it's not gonna move. And I'm going to loosen the hoop and take out the top part, hopefully without moving it. There we go. And just leave everything the way it is. And I'm going to put my, now this is the front and this is the back, so we're not even going to worry about the back. And we're going to get it lined up about like that, I think. See, I'm off. I can see, you know what? This would have been great when I was cutting this out to make sure that it's even, because look, it's not even. And I didn't notice. So, what are you going to do? Now, let's make sure this is good of where it's going to fit. Was that Tank doing his ears? Isn't that fantastic?
I love it.
Just like that. And we're going to do it even a different way on the machine because we can. Now I do have everything nice and loose. So this should just slip right in. Magnetic hoops would have worked fine and dandy. Mm-hmm. So it's not completely held down, but it's good. So you can pull a little bit, just a little bit. But that's all it is to hooping. Now, if you want to, we're not going right to the edges, of course, because I have to have a seam allowance going on. But yeah, isn't that cool? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. If you didn't want to do this, you could just tape it down. You could do a lot of things. Is Tank working out? Now he was just shaking to get our attention. That's all. He's just being a tank. We love him. I think Dawn told him he still has a little time to wait. So okay. Double check placement. I tighten my hoop. So far, so good. Now, do you guys want to see placement with the snowman stickers, how it works on the machine? Would spray work to hold it? It will. I prefer to hoop when I can. Try hooping and the spray. I might even put a little bit of tape on the edges if I was going any closer. But if you guys want to see how the snowman works, we can do that. If you don't have it though, you can't use it. I actually really don't use the snowman stickers very often. Do you, Dawn?
No, I eyeball things.
Yeah. I guess we've been doing it for so long.
And thankfully, my eyeballs are still good enough that I get it pretty darn close that nobody can tell. So
I really love that PAL. We should start a poll for different ideas to use the PAL for lining up.
It's got a ton of different uses.
Yeah.
For sure.
So this is what we got so far, which to me looks pretty good. Look, nice and lined up. No more fiddling about. And of course, I did realize that my actual bandana is crooked. So whatever. All right, let's take it to the machine, and we can play with what the machine can do. So old school. We'll pretend old school. So if you were doing old school, can you zoom right in, Don?
You can go close up, yeah.
All you have to do is rotate your flywheel to put your needle down. And on this one and most of the other ones, I want to aim it for the center part. So how do you do that? You move it over just a tiny bit. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't want to. See, that's the problem. Anyways, you would just move it. Ooh, nice close-up shot. I have it pretty close, but you want it a little bit closer. That's all you'd have to do for that. So let me put my needle up so it doesn't get mad at me. So we could also scan the snowman, which is cool. And there's a fancy thing here. No, not to that one. I don't know if I know how to use this. Ooh, the corners. You guys can't see. I'm playing and you guys can't see. Right in the middle, thank you, but turn it. So, there we go. Now we're just going to do a scan. And I don't have to move anything or do anything. See? Do you see that? Right in the center.
That was quick.
Yeah. Isn't that neat?
Go back to close up now that it's done moving. There you go.
So it's getting it perfectly on where it should be. I think this is really cool. Recognizing, and I have a nice cam. So it's going to do it all for you. It seems to be taking its time on this one, but yeah, it rotated it, so that's why it's making the "you failed" noise. So cancel. But that's all it does, and it'll rotate it, recognize the sticker, rotate it. The thing is, before you start stitching, please take the sticker off.
Sometimes easier said than done.
Yeah, I'm going to have to move it. It's good sticky stuff. You can't, oh, man.
Yeah, sometimes
Okay.
easier said than done.
Yeah, okay.
They put a little too much stick on it.
Maybe. So, that's another way. Line it up. Snowman sticker, any kind of sticker is fine. How about we try to scan? Because that's another way. McDreamy had a scanner. The lights go really bright. So it's scanning this whole thing so it can tell me where everything is. And on my screen, it will show the background and then it will show the design. So that's all there is to scanning. Super easy. So, I wish I could show them. Don, because it's stunning and it's perfect where it is. And this is perfectly clear. Don's gonna take a picture, I think. It's perfectly clear. Oh, I can't tell you how much I love that. Yep. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, it's perfectly clear. I love it. I love it. It's a background image. And now that I've got that, you can do the move thing. I want it moved a little bit up. But you can really, really see where it's lining up. I love it. So up and down a little bit, and I can visually see where it is, and I absolutely love it. So Don's just working on putting up that picture, which is awesome. So any questions so far? I have to use the app with the Stellaire using the snowman. Yeah, I just really don't use the snowman. On occasion I do, but meh, I don't know. No, Sharon, you do not need the Luminaire. Yes, you do. But that's okay.
That was subtle.
Really? Was it?
No.
So with the Luminaire, Sharon's going to hate me for this, we are going to put on the projector, which really shows up well. Oh my goodness, I hope it shows up that well, Dawn. I hope so. It looks amazing. Yes, it does, finally. Oh my God, that's amazing.
All right, I got the picture ready to come up.
Look at how clear that is.
Oh, wow.
That never works out
Let
like
me
that.
get close up to that. Hold on here.
So Dawn is going to put up the picture of
Just
the
close up
scan.
your scan of what you got right now.
That is, look, that is,
That's perfect.
isn't that awesome? I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
All right,
So-
and the picture that was on the screen
Yeah.
is up.
So the picture on the screen, just moved, but there. That is what I see on my computer or on my machine once I do a scan. But isn't it? It's perfectly clear. It's easy to see the design. That's what McDreamy had, and that is good enough. That is really cool. However, I have the projector, so the only downfall I say to the projector is that it's small. I don't know why I thought it would be bigger, but I did, and it isn't. However, it is pretty cool. I used it a lot for Stitch Delight when I was doing the Hoffman panels.
Sharon says, "Oh, come on, Sue, you're killing me."
Sorry. Sorry. Is that great though? That is the best I've had for...
Does a really good job projecting that on there.
Yeah, it's not usually this clear. I'm really surprised.
Darker plain fabric.
Maybe. combination. We changed all of our lighting. But see how precise you can get? I really think this is awesome. Sorry, everyone. I really think this is awesome. And look, I can even line it up to here. Nice and clear. So that's the projector. And you can check out everything, moving it around, and, you know, you can decide where you want it.
How big does that design come, do you know? Do you remember?
I'm doing... No, I don't. I think this is the biggest one. I think it goes quite a bit smaller.
Does it go down to 4x4 size?
No, because it's long.
So it would be 5x7.
Yeah, or
Well, they're
close
the
there
smallest.
too. So anyways, yeah, the projector, that will save you a lot of time. It's all you have to do to place something. So I love this. So how many ways did we have of doing it? Old school, new school, school.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
A lot
So
of ways to do it.
I think I have my placement where I want it. I think I'm pretty happy with that. And we're going to start with the applique. So are there any questions? But I've used the machine a lot, so you're not using any batting. No, I'm sewing this, so I'm just doing the embroidery on the outside, and then I'm going to sew it together. So,
Dog bandana.
yeah, it's a dog bandana. So I just wanted to practice my sewing in straight lines. Apparently, I should have cut it a little straighter, but, you know, whatever. I'll fix it up before I sew it, so that will be fine. Don't let him out. He's being a silly. So we're going to start these designs are stunning. And I thought this would look really good. Oh yeah, bobbin police were pretty full, so we're good. I thought this design would look really, really good. And I don't know where my fabric is. All right, I'll grab another piece then. So, pumpkins galore. So we might not get through the whole thing here, but like I said, it was about placement. So what's your favorite placement way, Dawn? What do you like the best?
I eyeball everything. I like the, I do like the snowman stickers, though. They are very handy.
It is very handy, for sure. I like the scanning, and of course, I really like the projector.
Yeah.
When it works so well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If I'm not just doing something simple and eyeballing it, I'll use the snowman stickers. I find them nice and easy to use.
But old school, you know, I find myself doing that sometimes, just printing out the template, putting it on, lining it up, and go. Sometimes it is faster. No idea where my applique scissors are. It's buried in Halloween. Oh, there they are. Buried in Halloween stuff. So, okay, we're going to go back to the desk, Dawn. And it's kind of a weird shape, but that's okay. I'll take it. And the white is going to look fantastic. So it is... Oh, that pal's in my way. I am so squishy here, Dawn.
Sorry.
It's squishy. And I keep hitting the cord. We're going to have to come up with a more permanent... It's very awkward for me to cut. I still won't cut at the machine, though. Still won't. I like the projector much better because that showed up really well. I had a hard time seeing before. It wasn't very clear. All right, go to the machine. So it's just a couple of appliques for this, and that is perfect the way that is sitting. I love it. Yes, it's whoops. Yes, it's a little bit above my line, but I think that's going to look great. So what I'm going to do is sew up to it, stop, tie off, and sew after it. So this is pretty easy. Now, if you remember the design, I just loved them. There was one with a cat. Now, what was it? It was a cat pumpkin with pumpkins on it, and they all had the Harlequin designs on it. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. So again, guys, this is just something the doggy bandana I'm sewing. It's not my in the hoop one, although I guess you could do that. It's just so I can keep practicing my sewing. I haven't done it for a while, so I need to keep up because, you know, skills. So I'll trim that in a minute because I'm having such an awkward time. Although, I guess I could move it for now. It's so easy to take down and put up the PAL. I mean, I moved it so I won't struggle. Trimming is so important, you know. I just love how clearly the camera. Thanks for this lesson, Sue. You're very welcome. Placement is everything, guys. Placement and trimming your applique. So, yeah. What's the name of the design? The design is called Harlequin Harvest, and it's from Anita Goodesign. It's not my design, but I love it. Can we go to the desk, Don?
Yeah.
I love the design set. They just caught my attention, and I love it. I love it. I think we should also do a video on what was it? Oh, the pretty flowers. Jill, thank you. Really enjoying this lesson. Cool. I hope everyone practices a little bit with their placement because it does really make a difference. The better you place it, there's nothing worse than looking at someone. I've been doing embroidery for 20 years. Dawn's been doing it for 10 or 11. And we can pick out crooked embroidery or bad embroidery. Even my kids can pick out bad embroidery like a mile away. So, yeah, you know. You don't want your work to be like that. So placement, the PAL makes it easier. So if you don't have all the fancy schmancy stuff, the PAL wasn't very expensive. Sorry, Judy Quilt, I'm cleaning it. It wasn't very expensive, and I think it's got a billion uses. A billion. So back to the machine. Now we're going to start doing some stitching. How are we doing for time, Dawn?
10:36.
Okay, so we'll do a couple of minutes of stitching. No touchy!
Move it out of the way for you.
No touchy! Don't touch my hoop. I'm still a kid. I'm still a kid. Mom, don't touch my hoop. She'll probably giggle. I do tell on them, by the way. I do.
You do.
So this is the color I'm using for the design. And what I'll do after I fix up my doggy bandana, I'll put a picture in the group because I think this design is perfect for a dog bandana. I was going to do it on a sweatshirt too. There's a bigger one. I contemplated doing that for a class, but we are going to be doing some t-shirt makeovers, so I'm going to hold it for that.
Look
What?
at your chat. Look
Why?
what you did.
What did I do?
You got me in
Dawn,
trouble.
stop. Oh, get over it.
Mom yelled at me.
Good. She usually does if I tell on you. So, if you wanted to tape this down, which I think I do because it's moving a little too much, stop your machine, please, and just tape it down. Or use spray or, whatever you want, but we want it to stay still. So, I just noticed that. I want everything to be nice and flat. I'll do the other side too. I'm glad you demonstrated this. I was wondering if it was worth getting it. I've been trying to decide between PAL and PAL 2. Just go for the PAL 3, I would say. They're all the same though. I mean, it does the same thing. And like I said, when I first saw it, I'm like, okay, who really needs that? Yeah, well, I do. I'll use it. I'll use it.
It's a lot more handy than you think.
Yeah, I didn't really understand what it was, but so easy to line up. I wish I had purchased it a long time ago, actually. So that color's beautiful. So this design is going to look amazing on this. Let me zoom out. So it is pulling a little bit, but there are going to be... Oh, see, now I need to cut this. I taped one side, but not the other. So hold on. Hold on. So I did a trim. And I just pulled out the hoop so I can reach, and we have a nice solid spot, and we can really press it down. So yeah, I should have done this in the first place. I wasn't sure how well it was gonna go, but that's fine. And I'm going to put a little bit more. It's not going to go anywhere, and it's not going to pull up anymore. I should have done this right at the beginning, but I didn't. It's an awkward shape to be working on. This triangle-y bitty bits, right? It's kind of weird, but it will look amazing in the end. I'll be showing you guys. It looks kind of pulley right now, but it will be fine. Me too. Why is it pulling? Because there was too much of the fabric not secured down. So this whole end here is secured down, but barely any of this. So it will move. And that is, I know people float and they appreciate it, and that's what they like to do. But I don't know. I think if
That's what happens when you float.
well, yeah. Now see the difference already with it taped down. So this side I don't have to worry about. This little bit here I don't have to worry about. But see what happens when you don't have it secured down. Now if you look, I taped it. That one that just stitched, there's no pulling.
Yeah.
There's no pulling. So, color change. So, that was my fault for the puckering there. I should have taped it down before I even put it on the machine. So, my bad. However, it'll still be okay. That's why I don't understand floating. I mean, I guess I just don't understand floating, but I think you have to have it secured down.
Well, yeah.
And don't anybody say pins, because I would never put a pin in my hoop near my machine, because I have seen bad things happen with that. So no pins for me. I'll stick with tape. And there's a lot more to be stitched over here, so I'm not worried. And everything, you know what, I could tape here too. I've got everything covered except for this, so that will help as well. Ooh, look at the pretty orange. So, yes, the dog won't care. Yeah, I know. Could you have attached a running stitch around the design? Yes, but I don't think a running stitch, you'd have to pick it out and it would leave marks. So you'd use a basting stitch, but I don't think the basting stitch would hold for something as intense like this. So that's why I didn't do it. It helps. Every little bit helps. So maybe, you know, this is what I would consider a partial hooping, and tape, even a little bit of spray helps, you know, the whole bit, and a basting box. And then it's easy to pull out. So, yeah, that's what I would say. But I mean, I guess if you wanted a square around it, you could do like maybe a decorative stitch around it, like a square. That, I mean, then it's not going anywhere. And stitch that out first. So lots of possibilities. But yeah, hooping is best, even partial hooping. Yeah, just might have to add to it. Sharon says, I use basting stitches. It helps. It definitely, I mean, they're there for a reason, right? They used to, in the olden days, when they did everything by hand, they would use basting stitches to hold it because they were moving it around. Isn't that pretty? Mm-hmm. That is an dime thread color, and I'll tell you the color. I was always told the layer of stabilizer for every 8,000 stitches. Is that true? No. No.
You'd have like 20 layers of stabilizer.
I know. No. Just one. Oh, I just thought of something else. Okay, if you use sticky stabilizer, problem solved. Problem solved. But fusible stabilizer, and just fuse it where the bandana is so you can cut it out after, that would have solved everything. All of it. So, because there's not a lot of substance to this. It's still going to be okay, but that's what I should have done. Marilyn says, what is a basting box? It's just long running stitches that kind of holds the two pieces of fabric in place, and then it's super easy to pull out because they're so distant apart. It's kind of like a old thing, but most machines have it so you can just add a basting box. So yes, I should have used my fusible. That would have been perfect. Actually, hooping cutaway and then using the fusing it on the back and then sticky. Yep. That would have worked really well. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Hoop has angry eyes. It's kind of peeking out at you, Misha. He's kind of covered. He's mad because I didn't do the taping and fusing. That's why he's angry. I know. So a running stitch around the design, yes, it would work, but it will leave marks when you take it out. Sometimes you can use steam to get rid of all the holes, but if you consider how many holes are going to be made. Isn't this a gorgeous design? I had such a hard time picking out which one I was going to do. So, yeah. Stitch before cutting the shape of the bandana. Yeah, that would work too. That would work too. So I hear people say that a layer of stabilizer for every 8,000 stitches. I was never taught that way, and I've been doing embroidery for 20 years, and I watch, Anita Goodesign, and I watch so many other people doing it, and I've never seen them do that. The only time I pay attention to how many stitches is in something is just to plan it for the video to see how long it's going to take. Otherwise, it doesn't matter, really. But I don't think I've ever used more than one layer of stabilizer because you don't need it. No, so the color for this orange is Exquisite, which is a dime brand. ES 3001. It's a beautiful color.
If the design is digitized properly and you hoop and stabilize it properly,
yeah,
there's no need for extra this and that and everything else.
I could have done a little bit better job. I kind of got focused on the positioning and being really excited about how well the projector worked. That I didn't do the right stuff, but it is a doggy bandana, so, I mean, it's okay. There's still lots more stitching to do. It could have been better, but this isn't the end of the world either.
Well, it'll look good when you're done anyway.
Does Canada get a special day off work on Monday to honor the Queen? Yes. I am not going to be working. It's a federal holiday, so anyone who works for the government can take it off. However, I think a lot of businesses will be pretty gratuitous about it, that, you know, so you can watch it. So, yes. Dorothy, I appreciate the positioning lesson.
It was a lesson on positioning, not hooping.
It kind of was, and I kind of got focused. I mean, I don't like script any of these videos. I just go. I just have everything ready and I go.
That's what makes it good.
So, yeah, I could have done better. There's just not, it's not enough substance. Like, the fabric is too thin. But I like my colors. So, I'm going to finish this, guys. I'm going to finish this. And I think it's going to look fabulous. So, fusible and cutaway, I think would be, would have been a much better way of doing it. And then you wouldn't have these pull things. It doesn't matter. It's a dog bandana. Okay, so let's be honest. If I was doing this on a shirt, and this is the first thing I stitched out, this one here. I guess it's a little too far back, but the first little piece back here, and I saw the pulling, I would have stopped at that point to make some changes. So, you know, it's a dog bandana. It'll be okay. But please don't layer up your stabilizer. You're just wasting it. So don't do that. Even the wash away, I still only use one layer because I figure if I'm doing lace and it's falling apart or ripping or something, then there's something wrong with the lace. So I really seriously only use one layer and it works. So I gotta get some sticky stuff. I think I have one of those hoops with the sticky stuff. Maybe I'll do an experiment on that. And we can see what the better end result is. Ooh, I'm gonna do that today. So awesome. Awesome. Have a great weekend. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys will practice positioning and proper placement to get everything straight and looking good. Whether you use a template, old school, drawing lines, marking lines, using the peel and stick, using the PAL, using your machine.
Stealing Sue's PAL 3?
No.
Oh, that doesn't count?
Jerk. You're annoying today. And, or using the projector, whichever way, just make sure everything's lined up and make sure one layer of cutaway. And for this, I needed to stabilize a bit more, but it is for the dog, so we're not going to worry. So thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye, everyone.